Ohio. Burnaby, the city in Canada in the province British Columbia, the third most populated city of the province. Card people in 2016. East suburb of Vancouver. It is founded in 1892. I received the status of the city in 1992, 100 years later after the basis. Burnaby, a residence of administration of the Subway of Vancouver, Regional Council of 24 municipalities. Within the first 30-40 years after emergence of Burnaby, his growth was caused by convenient location between such violently developing and economically important cities as Vancouver and New Westminster. First, it was first of all the agricultural area supplying products to the local markets. After Burnaby, it became, and still remains, an important transport corridor between Vancouver, valley of the River Fraser and internal areas of the province. The interior. In process of growth of Vancouver, Burnaby becomes one of his major dormitory areas, along with northern Vancouver and Richmond. At formation of the city, inhabitants unanimously decided to call him in honor of the legislator, the mason and the researcher of Canada Robert Burnaby, who was the private secretary of the Colonel Richard Moody, the first the Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia in the middle of the 19th century. Burnaby occupies the space of 98.6 km. He is located in the geographical center of agglomeration of Big Vancouver, between Vancouver in the west and Port Moody, Coquitlam and New Westminster in the east. From the north it is limited to the Gulf Burrard, and from the south the River Fraser. Burnaby, Vancouver and New Westminster together borrow. She part of the peninsula of Burrard. The highest point, the mountain Burnaby, 370 m above sea level. The main park plantings of Burnaby are the Central Park, the Park of Robert Burnaby, the Burnaby Mountain Park and Kensington Park. City reservoirs. Lakes Burnaby, Alany, Bear Lake, and Squint Lake, Brunette and Still Creek rivers. The system of high-speed SkyTrain transport crosses Burnaby from the east on the west in two places. In the south in the area of the Expo line. It is finished and put in operation in 1986. And in the middle on the Millennium Line. It is finished in 2002. SkyTrain improved transport communications with New Westminster, Vancouver and Surrey, and acceleration of development of the city was promoted, especially in the areas of Locust. On the eastern frontier of the city. By Brentwood. In the west of Burnaby. And Metrotown. In the south. The main streets crossing the city from the north on the south. Boundary Road, Greenwich Road, Willingdon Avenue, Royal Oak Avenue, Kensington Avenue, Sperling Avenue, Killardy, Caribou Road and North Road. Savernaya Road. From the east on the west there passes Hastings Street, Barnethibi, Lakatayi, Kingi. A former horse track from Vancouver to New Westminster. Canadaway and Marin Drive. Douglas Road, which was earlier crossing the city from the northwest on the southeast, is substantially absorbed Canadaway and Trans-Kanaskai Highway. Since 1990 the network of bicycle paths develops in Burnaby. The city is included into network of bus routes of Big Vancouver, which is serviced by the Coast Mountain Bus Company. Office of the TransLink Company. Burnaby occupied by about 4% of the territory of the Vancouver City District. Agglomeration. And is the third largest city in British Columbia, after Vancouver and Surrey. As well as in all agglomeration Big Vancouver, in Burnaby the share of immigrants was always big. For example, northern Burnaby near the street Hastings is the place of residence of the Italian diaspora. There are a lot of Italian restaurants, and the southern part of the city, Metrotown, was replenished with migrants from China, including Taiwan, Hong Kong and Macau, South Korea and the former Yugoslavia. According to a population census of 2006, for 54% of residents neither English nor French is native. Politically, inhabitants of Burnaby usually support left-centrist political forces on elections as municipal council, and in regional and all-Canadian parliamentary elections, sometimes giving preference to more conservative parties. Most longer from political figures as the deputy from Burnaby in the Canadian Parliament Sven Robinson from New Democratic Party. The first member of the Canadian Parliament who openly declared the homosexual orientation. But, after 25 years of being in 7 successful election campaigns worked, he left the post at the beginning of 2004 after scandal with theft of expensive ring. Voters of Burnaby supported on federal elections of his former assistant, Bill Sixey, and he released Robinson from his duty. In the regional parliamentary elections which took place in British Columbia in May 2005, residents gave the votes for the Liberal Party of British Columbia and New Democratic Parties of Canada. Religious affiliation of the population. 35.3% didn't specify religion or atheists. 21.3% Catholics. 9% Protestants. 6.1% Christians, without specification. 4.9% Buddhists. 4.8% Muslims. 7.7% other. Education. Simon Fraser University. Institute of Technology of British Columbia. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.